I made this Wii U gamepad play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I did it. Now first things first, you should also know that this Wii U gamepad can also play PS2 games with real PS2 hardware. We'll get into that in a minute, but let's take a step back and see where this idea came from. So I was in the middle of saving Princess Link the other day, and I thought to myself, it's dangerous to go alone. Let's take this Wii U gamepad and craft something special. But getting this Wii U gamepad to play Tears of the Kingdom was a process. You see, I had options. In fact, I had 10 different options, all of which came in the form factor of unofficial custom consoles. So let me show you each of these options and why I ended up choosing the Wii U gamepad to harness this special 720p game. So we'll start with the custom Wii portables here, and we have this first white one right here, about the size of my hand. Very nice custom portable, has real Wii hardware inside, but honestly, I don't think this thing is powerful enough to handle Zelda, because boy, she is thick.
Stop it. Get some help.
And next up, we have another Wii portable here with real Wii hardware inside, trimmed down to fit this small form factor, again, about the size of my hand. This one looks like a Game Boy Advance. Very cool design. Not going to use this though, because frankly, it's not powerful enough. And next up, we have the two custom portable consoles that are honestly probably my favorite, and these are the GameCube portable consoles. Now, these also have real Wii hardware inside. They play Wii and GameCube games. Looks just like a GameCube controller, but basically stretched out with a screen in the middle. And honestly, these are just too cool for a Switch game, so these ain't it. And the next one up is pretty self-explanatory. We got the Dreamcast Chunky Boy. The screen is way too small on this one, so that's a hard pass. And next up, we also have an NES portable, which is pretty cool at first glance, but it's definitely a low budget, so I don't want to use that one. Another pass. And then next up is probably my second favorite line of consoles, which is the DMG Game Boy Advance SP Nintendo DS. Pretty cool console if I say so myself, but obviously this does not have enough power to power Switch games. And last but not least, we have the custom PS2 portable consoles, and again, these have real PS2 hardware inside, and they're cool in their own respect, but honestly, they're probably too powerful for Tears of the Kingdom, probably run it at 1080p, so we don't need this much power. Let's toss them to the side. But last but not least, we came across the Wii U gamepad PS2 portable extravaganza, and this was chosen as my victim. And now, of course, you're wondering, how do we take this PS2 portable Wii U gamepad and play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on it? Well, there's one simple answer. We take our big brain power, we morph this Switch Lite into this Wii U gamepad, and we play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So let me just start by showing you exactly what this console does. And, you know, it looks like Wii U gamepad, but it doesn't actually play Wii U games. It plays PS2 games. Now, we flip the switch on top, and you probably don't recognize that because that's not on a normal Wii U. Let me press the home button down here. I don't think you guys are ready for this. Boom. We are booting up a real-life PS2 that's inside of this Wii U gamepad. And if I do some button presses, I can open up OPL and play actual PS2 games on this thing. It's a pretty sick device. We'll turn it off, but I'll show you the internals, and then I'll show you the easy way to get Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on this, and then we'll proceed to do the hard way. Alright, screws are removed from the back. We can now take this thing apart and reveal the inside, and we do indeed have a loose battery, and that's just because this thing was kind of built like crap, to be honest. And then, but you can see the internals. We do have real Wii U gamepad buttons. Then we have a screen here, our PS2 here, some batteries to run the whole thing. And it's a pretty cool device. It's very jank, but let me just go ahead and show you the easy way to get Zelda on here. So you can see here I have my Animal Crossing Switch with power hooked up. I got my HDMI cable going from the dock to the HDMI port on the screen inside of the Wii U gamepad PS2 portable, and this should work. And like I said, this is the easy way to do it. Let me go ahead and turn this thing on and just hope it works. So there you go. The Nintendo Switch is on the Wii U gamepad PS2 portable now. You can see my controller is working. Unfortunately, the controllers here do not work. We're going to rectify that for our Switch Lite. Now, you've seen the internals of the Wii U gamepad now. Let me just explain what my game plan is here. So essentially, I'm going to take out all of the PS2 components from the Wii U gamepad. I'll take out the screen and everything, and then I'm going to take apart my Switch Lite. I'm going to transplant the screen from the Switch Lite to the Wii U gamepad, and then my goal is to wire up the controls from the Wii U gamepad, from the Switch Lite to the Wii U gamepad, so I can use the actual Wii U gamepad controls to control my Switch Lite, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and tear down my Switch Lite and get to the inside. Alright guys, so I'm going to do a little voiceover to explain what I did here. Basically, I did a bunch of nerd stuff, and honestly, in terms of nerd stuff, it was pretty basic. But anyways, I spent some time mapping out the pins for both the left analog stick and the D-pad so that I would know where to solder wires. And for the analog, I found a pin out that somebody had already made online. But then for the D-pad, I used my multimeter to figure out which pads are ground and which pads were not. Now the goal here is to solder 2 wires from each D-pad button on the Switch Lite to each D-pad button on the Wii U gamepad, and then once we test out one button and confirm it works, we'll do the same thing for all of the buttons. So this right here is what happened after I soldered one button. Alright guys, so we do have progress here. I soldered to both the points on the up button, also soldered to both points the ground and the up on this little tiny connector here, which that thing is tiny. I had to use my magnifying glass, and I still had trouble. I'm not even sure if I got to the right pin, but that's going to cause me some trouble later. But we at least got a proof of concept now. Let's go ahead and plug this back into the Switch and turn it on and see if that button works. If Thanks to Ranvu for sponsoring today's video. So this right here is the Ice 3, and it's Ranvu's smart neck air conditioner. Let me just explain. So basically what happens is you put this device around your neck, and you can configure the 2 thermal pads to either heat or cool, and you can also adjust the fan speed. You can even utilize the 6 built-in sensors to have these functions adjusted for you. Oh, and by the way, the battery lasts for 24 hours in fan mode. And unlike ordinary fans, the Ice 3 blows cool air, not hot air, and also provides 25 degrees of additional cooling compared to other cooling devices. So now when would you use this device? Well, let's just say you're taking a walk on a hot summer day, or maybe you're in a 3 to 4 hour gaming session, you're getting all worked up and sweaty, or you can even take it off your neck and put it on this little stand for a desk fan. So to get the best deal on Ranvu's product, check out their campaign on Indiegogo and get 35% off. You can also purchase the Ice 3 on Amazon or Ranvu's website, and I'll have all the links down below. So I had a scary moment there. I was putting everything back together after soldering, and the console would not turn on. Turned out I just had a couple ribbon cables flipped around, so that did it, but it should turn on now, hopefully. Power button. Yes, okay. All right, so we boot this up, and now if we press the up button on the Wii U gamepad, it should do the up on here. Let's see if it does. All right, so whatever I did is causing it to continuously go up all the time. As you can see, I scroll down, automatically goes up. That's awesome. All right, so back with another little voiceover here. I spent a few hours soldering to the D-pad buttons and troubleshooting why I was having issues, and ultimately ended up just moving on from the D-pad to the, A, B, X, and Y buttons to see if those would work. And you'll see it here in a second, but basically the only thing I did differently with the A, B, X, and Y buttons is that I completely removed the ribbon cable connector from the black board, which, by the way, the black board was a custom board from the PS2 Portable. And essentially what that will do will get rid of any other circuits that could be causing issues in the back end of that ribbon cable connector. So I have 2 wires going from the A button to the ribbon cable, but this time I completely disconnected the connector here, just straight to the ribbon cable, so we're completely voiding any other circuits that are in there, which could be the issue. So let's just go ahead and turn this console back on and see if this works. So the A button should work. All right, so you can see the console's on. Let me go ahead and try to press the A button on here, see if it works. Nope. It worked. It's about time. You see that, guys? I'm pressing the A button here on the Wii U gamepad, and it's working. Glorious. Oh, man. So I kind of have a problem here. I accidentally ripped the ribbon cable on the digitizer here, which I guess is not the end of the world. We can just do it without the touchscreen, which is fine for now. Honestly, this video is kind of a proof of concept. I'll probably build it, make it better in the future, but we'll just forget about the touchscreen for now. So I've made some progress, and I have a few things I want to show you. First of all, this right here is a screen, and yes, it is upside down, and yes, that is electrical tape, but it will work. And I did say this would be jank. Now, there's a few other things. I have A and B wired up. I won't right there, so those 2 are wired up to the switch right now. Unfortunately, I won't be able to wire up X and Y. I tried to, but like the points on these pins are so close together. Let me just show you. Where is that? And man, I can't even zoom in enough on this connector to show you, but I have a ribbon cable connector. Basically, the ribbon cable plugs on one end, and it has pins on the other end, and they're so small and so close together that I can't physically solder them separately without them like crossing over and touching other pins. Now, maybe I just need some other smaller soldering iron. I frankly, I don't think anything is really meant to solder to that, by hand. So I think if I was going to do this again, I would have to actually order some breakout PCBs, have a ribbon cable on the PCB, plug in the ribbon cable to the PCB, and break out to some solder points that I could actually solder to. But that's for the future. Let's go ahead and continue this jankiness and see what we come up with. All right, guys, just want to give you an inside look at this console. It's almost complete, and it's an absolute masterpiece. As you can see, we still have the Wii U buttons over here wired into A and B, which I did indeed test. They do still work. I'm charging up right now because once this thing is enclosed, there's no charging of this bad boy unless we take it apart. We've got our nice magnet wire flying around everywhere. Somehow I got this other thing. Somehow I plugged everything back in, and it still works. I don't frankly know how. We've got our joystick, which unfortunately you'll have to like kind of stick your thumb through the hole and control the joystick with, because that's just how it's going to be. And I'm pleased so far. Let's finish this bad boy up. Now, like a true gamer, I strapped this thing down with electrical tape. Now, let's go and do a preliminary test. So I need to turn this thing on first and put the back cover on, because once the back cover on, there's no touching the power. Flip it around, press the A button, and there it is, guys. Oh crap, it fell. Can I reach the joystick? Maybe I can. Yes, it works. Kind of. Maybe. I have some revisions to make. So guys, after many hours of blood, sweat, and tears, I present to you Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on the Wii U gamepad PS2 portable console. And this thing is awesome, and it is functional. So let's take a look. Now, taking a closer look at this console, as you can see, there is indeed a screen in the front. That is the official Switch Lite screen that I placed in there. Please ignore the electrical tape. As you can see, there are also all the standard buttons. Looks pretty normal, right? And then flipping to the top here, looks pretty jank, right? You got some missing buttons and whatever, but we'll gloss over that. And then going to the back, you are seeing correctly, there is indeed an analog stick in the L2 hole, and it does function. As you can see, I am running around with that analog stick in question, so pretty awesome. Now, to make all the components inside of this thing work together to create this beast of a console, I had to use a few professional tools such as 3D printing, PCB fabrication, an oscilloscope. Let me just give you the lowdown of how this console works. Now, it just does. And there's 3 functioning components, actually 4. We have the screen, we have the A button, the B button, and analog stick. So frankly, the rest of the buttons that you see here are not functional right now. It does work. Let me just show you running around with my analog stick in the back here. If I use the B button, I can indeed sprint. Now the A button does work. I don't have any A button functions to do right now, but I'll show you some B-roll on the screen of me using the A button. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of this thing. It does actually work. It's actually 100 times better than I thought it would be when I started this project. And let me know down below what you think about this console. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I spent a lot of hours in this thing, so please like and share down below and comment down below. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.